is happening? Bay Area, good morning to everybody out there getting off their graveyard shift. If you're at work, what is happening? Good morning to the overnight dancers. Hopefully the holiday season's treating you well. I know you got to get gifts and everything like that, so hopefully you're making some good money. All the students, all the cops, all the firefighters, all the carpenters, all the truck drivers, all of the servicemen, thank you for your service. You know, UPS drivers, FedEx drivers, DHL, all the taxi drivers, Uber drivers, man, be safe out there. Good morning to everybody who's celebrating their holidays. If you're traveling for the holidays, safe travels to you. As we get ready to talk about the Golden State Warriors here in hour number 3 of the roast. It's me, it's Lubman, it's you, Roasters, 888-957-9570. We talked a lot of Niners in the first 2 hours. I think we all agree it's a big-time game. We don't want to see the 49ers lose. We want to handle our business on Monday. But I do want to shift focus to the Warriors for a second. And Steve Kerr joined Willard and Dibs yesterday. And maybe it's lost its luster because Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely. But today, bye-bye. Yeah, the day has finally arrived, though, folks. The Washington Wizards will be in town tomorrow. And that means Jordan Poole will be in town tomorrow. And I know last week we had the most polarizing figures in Bay Area sports history on the King of the Hill. My list, the most polarizing figures. And Jordan Poole was pretty polarizing last season. And we know how last year went. And the vibes were great going to Tokyo, Japan. Oh, they were awesome. They were immaculate. They just coming off a championship. They're dancing around in Tokyo, Japan. They're having 3-point shootouts. They're having a lot of fun. And then the vibes were gone. The good vibes, that is, during one training camp practice on a Wednesday afternoon. And it just never felt the same. But by the end of the year, this fan base was split. They were divided. They were ticked off at Jordan Poole. Some of us sympathized with him for what he went through last season. And by the end of the season, he just did not play. He was a shell of himself. He was unplayable in the Sacramento series. He was unplayable in the Lakers series. But we cannot forget that without him, I don't think the Warriors win that 4th championship. I just don't think so. He averaged over 17. He had a great first-round series. He had a great game 1 against the Memphis Grizzlies. He had his moments against Dallas. He had his moments in the NBA Finals. Remember, it was his first ever postseason. So when tomorrow happens and the ball gets tipped off, how will you feel about Jordan Poole? How will you react to Jordan Poole? Are you giving him a standing ovation? Are you giving him a clap? Or are you going to boo him? Or are you going to say, hey, thank the heavens he's gone? This is very strange. Like, first of all, Draymond not being involved is pretty ironic. It's just he's suspended, so I get that added drama to it. But Jordan Poole is coming back into the building, to the team that he was drafted to, where he went through his lumps, winning 15 games, being sent back and forth to the G League. And again, he had to go down to Orlando bubble and kind of fix his game. And he did that. And then he came out like lightning that 3rd season. And boy, was he dynamic. How are we feeling about Jordan Poole heading into Chase Center tomorrow night? Now, Steve Kerr. Lubman, do you have the cut of Steve Kerr? If you could pull it up yesterday on Willard or Divs. Because, of course, they asked him about Jordan Poole and how he feels about Jordan Poole. And I believe it. I know the Golden State Warriors organization is first class. Kevin Durant got his standing ovation finally. But Steve Kerr was asked that same question by Willard or Dibs. How does he feel about Jordan Poole? Here's what Steve Kerr said about Poole.
Well, number one, I'm excited for him because I know our fans are going to give him an enormous ovation, and he deserves that. You know, he's a champion. We don't win that championship in 22 without Jordan. Played a huge role there. He's an unbelievable success story. 28th pick in the draft. Played that first year that I referenced when we had the worst record in the league, and we really threw him into the deep end. He wasn't ready and took his lumps and then just went to work and put in so much great work and turned himself into the player that he's become. And our fans, they recognize all of that, and so do all of our players and coaches. So we're going to welcome Jordan back with open arms on Friday, and we're excited to see him.
How's Poole going to feel? How's Poole going to feel in pregame? This is a game tomorrow. Well, I may get there about 2:30, 3 o'clock to the arena. May have to skip the afternoon nap. We'll see about that. Probably lying about that, but I am eager to see Jordan Poole warm up, and I can't wait to say hello to Jordan Poole. So I love Jordan Poole. Remember his first ever interview in the Bay Area. Daryl the Guru Johnson and I conducted that interview at his rookie introductory press conference, and he was a breath of fresh air. He immediately endured himself to the Bay Area. So I'm eager to see how he shakes the hands of Steph and Curry. Now, he's going to be cool with Steph and Clay. They all chopped it up. They worked together. They worked out together this past summer with Brandon Payne, Steph Curry's personal trainer, CEO of Accelerate Sports, of course. But how would Steve Kerr? How would that interaction be? How would Jordan Poole be received by this fan base? How will he look around Chase Center? How will he thank the crowd? What is his mindset heading into this game? Here's Anthony Slater yesterday when he joined us on the Roast Lubman. We asked him, what is Poole's mindset right now?
He's still a little bit hesitant to discuss much. I mean, he still talks about, like, he's still really good friends with Looney, right? The Milwaukee connection. Mm-hmm. Wiggins, he has the same agent as he's always been close with. He's very appreciative of his time watching Steph and Clay, you know, just like learning from them, right? As a guy who views himself as a quick trigger shooter, that, you know, scorer. Doesn't really mention Draymond, won't really answer questions about Draymond. Which, you know, like,
how could you blame him?
Yeah. You know, he kind of joked afterwards, you know, because I did ask a couple of, you would call them more uncomfortable questions, like, you know, hey, Marshawn Lynch style on that one. You know, he kind of likes, and that's how he's always been, and that's fine. You know, I think in a lot of ways, I respect how he's handled it. Like, he's never talked about that situation and, like, almost refuses to. And you know what? Like, that part of that's like he just doesn't want the headlines. He doesn't want the conversation around it.
You know, Jordan Poole had a rough postseason. But I'm with Anthony where he handled that situation last season as well as he could have. I don't know how you handle a situation like that. When you get embarrassed like that worldwide, Lubman, and I'll let you get in here in just a second, you handle that situation the way he did. I thought he showed the most maturity in that organization at times. Because I love the Warriors. I don't think they handled that situation as well as they could have.
No, they definitely didn't. And I think you hit the nail around the head there. He did handle this very maturely, far more maturely than, say, Draymond Green did. And that's why, like, I think back to last year, the amount of grief he got from Warrior fans, so much. Even, like, so many times, like, you're watching games, I would get texts from people, there goes Jordan Poole being the problem again. And it felt like we were just so unnecessarily coming down on him. And honestly, even this fan base, I thought was a little immature in how it was handled. Like, this man was punched in the face by his own teammate, and his organization did basically nothing to support him. And we're shocked that he was upset by that. And then even more so, it's like, yeah, he didn't voice his complaints. He could have easily, he had all the right to take to the airwaves and just be like, I can't believe these people, they should trade me. I don't like being here. He took the highest of high roads. And yeah, I do commend him for doing that, because that could not have been easy to be disrespected like he was by Draymond Green and to have to deal with all the outside chatter all year long. You know, he could say that he stays out of it, he doesn't listen to it, blah, blah, blah. He definitely knows about it, though.
Right. And
for him to kind of, you know, keep his head together as much as he did last year, like, it's so easy to criticize Jordan Poole, but to quote Priest, you don't know Jordan Poole. Like, what he went through last year, most people who were criticizing him would not be able to handle a shred of the grief he got last year, because it's tough to have that kind of, you know, negativity swirling around you like that.
Some of the dialogue around Jordan Poole was just absolutely nasty. You know, some people believing that he deserved to get punched. You don't even know what the hell happened in training camp. You have no clue what happened. Nobody deserves to get punched like that.
That was like probably I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. That was probably the most disgusting take. There's like the fact that he had it coming.
Right. And no, that's not right.
And I always remember that night when it happened, Bonds. I remember you and I, we just got done with our show call. I forgot what we were going to talk about the next day. It was the middle of Niners training camp, so we were probably excited to talk about a bunch of 49ers stuff. And then the news broke. I think it was the Slater tweet, you know, Draymond Green struck Jordan Poole. It's like, oh, that's not good. You called me back a few minutes later, and you immediately started telling me, like, "Ooh, this is really, really bad. This is way worse than it sounds." And then I remember then the Clutch Sports article came out a little while after that, where it's like Jordan Poole's been acting cocky. Right. And you and I got on the phone again, and you kind of gave me a little bit of a lesson in terms of just how certain, you know, players in the media are kind of in cahoots there. And you kind of told me to, and I've always followed your lead on this because I know you're one of the most tapped in people when it comes to the Warriors. And you told me, I remember right off the bat, like, don't buy into that. Don't buy into that article. That's just Draymond's people trying to set the narrative. And that's kind of why I really kind of commend Jordan Poole for, where everyone else is kind of creating the narrative.
Yep.
And he's just like, you know what? I have my truth. I know what happened.
Right.
I know that I was in the right. He was in the wrong. I'm just going to keep my head down.
Yep.
And it would have been so easy. I remember his father kind of tried to chime in at some point.
His father listens to the show.
And there were people who wanted to like, Jordan, just come out and say something. But here's the thing. The reason why you don't say something there is because it never stops there.
It never stops.
You could, like, if Jordan Poole comes out and says, I did not deserve to get punched, it just, you answer one question, but then it's like the Hydra. Spinoni brought that up the other day.
Right.
You chop off one head, two more return.
I remember
you
that.
answer one question, two more take its place. And it's just not worth it if you're Jordan Poole. It's not worth the headache.
No,
you
it's
do
not.
you, my guy.
Hey, it was funny because you bring up that Wednesday. Now I remember that because I called you immediately. I was like, look, this is not good. And I remember the crossover the next day with Willard and Dibbs, and shout out to Willard and Dibbs. And I remember that crossover. And Willard had heard whatever he heard, and I remember we went back and forth with it. And look, I'm not here to come down Willard's road, but I remember I said, man, this situation's not good. This situation's not good. And then the video came out the next Friday, during a football Friday, during the 6:42 break. I'll never forget it. And then during the break, I just see the line start to light up. And I go, folks, we won't be talking football anymore.
I remember we had Tim Roy on that day.
And you got to remember, Jordan Poole didn't get paid before the punch. He got paid after the punch. All right? Let's get the facts right. Don't be confused with the facts. He got paid 10 days after the punch.
Wasn't the contract more or less kind of set? They just had to finalize something.
Right, exactly.
Like, it was already coming down the pike.
It was coming down the pike. It was tough, but he wasn't paid yet. Let's get the facts right. And so I just wonder how Warrior fans are going to remember Jordan Poole. 888-957-9570. How will you feel when you watch him tomorrow? Because I know a lot of people are taking some pride in the Wizards struggling. They have only won one game in the month of December, and they're struggling, and Jordan Poole's been a laughingstock. Although he's playing better, he had a good game in Sacramento the other night. But how are Warrior fans going to remember Jordan Poole? How will you be watching that game tomorrow? Because the day is here now. We've had this date circled all season long. The day Jordan Poole comes back to town.
I think it was in your King of the Hill of top 7 most home games you got to get to.
Now, it's lost a little luster, obviously, because Draymond Green's not here. But think about NBA 2K. They come out with their preview of the video game. And the preview is Draymond Green guarding Jordan Poole at Chase Center. A lot of people are looking forward to this game. Let's go to Nate in the city. Nate, what's happening, man? You're on the roast.
Hey, man, it's your guy Nate Ford here. How you doing?
What's up, Big Nate?
Hey, man, I'm sitting here giving out toys to the kids this morning.
Where are you giving out? Where are you giving out toys at?
So we're at the Tenderloin at the Hamilton Family Shelter. So we're doing that. But I want to
beautiful.
Yeah. First, before I start, I want to give you your props, Monte, man, because you are definitely a role model for the kids. I remember the dog days you had at City College, man, and, you had a great time, a great run there, and you've just been elevating. So I want to give you your flowers. I want to give you your props. You're doing a great job.
I appreciate that, Nate. That means a lot from you, man. I'm just trying to be like you, man. You've been doing it for a long, long time, man, since I was a kid. So going back to Ernest Ingle Boys Club, Boys and Girls Club out there by Go to Gay Park, man. So you're the real role model, man. I'm just jaw-jacking about sports, man, but you're out there giving out toys and helping young men and young women kind of realize their dreams when it comes to basketball and just a fixture in the community. So you deserve the flowers, Nate.
Right. And my second point is, man, maybe this is all coming full circle here. Draymond's not here tonight. Tomorrow night, and I think it makes it all the better for Jordan Poole and for some of his teammates who may feel sort of alliance to Draymond to kind of, greet Jordan with, open arms. And
interesting.
I think it falls right. It just falls right and it feels good. I think Jordan Poole deserves some props, man. He helped us win a championship. There shouldn't be any ill feelings, and I think it makes him more comfortable for his teammates since Draymond won't be there. That's my take.
What would he, Nate? Before you get off the line, what would have happened if Draymond was here tomorrow night? You think
it would be a little dicey because the players still have to play with Draymond for the rest of the season, and we all know how Draymond Green is, and we know how. How tight that locker room is. You want to stay with the guys who are with you. So the allegiance, I think, even Steph, I think it all I think it makes it much better. It's a better situation for tomorrow night to greet him. I hope they have a video tribute to him because he did help us win a championship.
All right, very interesting take. And Nate, good stuff, man. Delivering the toys out there in the TL, man. Go check out Nate out there. Thanks for the call, Nate. Let's go to Tamir in Oakland. Interesting take. It's maybe a blessing in disguise that Draymond Green isn't there. Tamir, happy holidays, brother. I hope you're well.
Hey, happy holidays to you. For me, with Jordan Poole, I'm with Nate. I'm standing up. I'm giving him a standing ovation. I'm wearing my Warriors World Pool Party shirt, and I may even put the jersey on too, because without him, he wouldn't. I don't think we would have won in 2022. And like you guys were stating before, like I got boys. I coached basketball. The way that he handled his business after being punched was like a grown man. You can't teach that. So I respect everything that Jordan Poole did for the Warriors.
Interesting take, Tamir. Thanks for the call. And he's wearing his pool party shirt. He brought up the pool party. Remember that championship season? Hell, I remember on the pregame show, Mully, Fezzi, D. Wright, Monty Poole, even Grant Liftman. We were wearing floaties as suntan lotion or sunscreen lotion because we were just having a pool party. We were having so much fun with them. And I remember with Shasky, we were discussing who makes the crowd pop. Well, Steph Curry makes the crowd pop the most, right? Crowd goes crazy over Curry. But it was a back and forth between Clay and Jordan Poole. Well, Jordan Poole was doing that season. I'm him.
He had a vibe with this fan base.
He was a showman. And everybody had Jordan Poole. So, matter of fact, a barista at Starbucks, a local Starbucks I go to, I forget her name. She works with Iris. Shout out to the Starbucks over there at Bay Hill Community Center. But she asked me, I stopped in there last Saturday, she goes, can you tell Jordan Poole to come by to Starbucks? I love Poole. People don't realize, I think, how much clout Jordan Poole had with this fan base, how much love he had from this fan base. They loved Poole. There was a lot of Poole jerseys at Chase Center. There's your Curry jerseys. There was your Clay jerseys. But Poole jerseys were selling off the rack. I mean, you had to wait on some Poole jerseys. I think that was lost on a lot of Warrior fans, the dynamic Poole had with this fan base. Let's go to Carlo in Frisco. Carlo, what's happening, Carlo?
Big Bonte, what's up, dog? Big fan. Always listen. Don't always agree, but I always listen.
That's
Frisco,
all.
100%.
Hey, you and my girl think the same thing, buddy.
Hey, it's all good, baby. Got big love for you and Butcher Boy. Hope everybody's good.
Yep.
One thing, though. The Warriors did Jordan Poole dirty. I will go to my grave thinking that the karma is now showing on the team. It's going to be a black eye on Draymond, Kerr, and the organization forever. Free Jordan Poole. We missed out on a great player, a great character. And that's all I got to say, baby. Have a great holiday, man.
You too, Carlo. I wonder how many people feel like that. There are a lot of people who feel like that. Now, it was divided last year. A lot of people were pointing the finger at Jordan Poole. A lot of people wanted Jordan Poole out of here. Now, according to Anthony Slater, Poole's happy where he's landed.
I think he's happy where he was sent. You know, He's been given a chance. It's not necessarily going well right now. They're 4-22. I think that was predictable. But he's shooting better. He had 28 the other night, hit 8 threes. So it's an interesting time for him. The other thing, and multiple people mentioned this, and this is why they view it as a success story, he got paid. He was a 28th overall pick that was making $1-2 million his first few years. He's now making, $123 million over 4 years, and he's been given the keys to a team, and we'll see if that works out.
So Poole feels good. He still won't answer questions about Draymond Green. You know he'll be peppered with more questions about Draymond Green over the next 2 nights. Of course, the Wizards play Portland tonight, so they'll be on the back end of a back-to-back before they head into Chase Center. Let's go to Buddy real quick before the break, and then we have a special guest at 8:30. Forgot to tease this, but a very special guest. We're going to do something a little different on the roast for about 10 minutes. But let's go to Buddy in Foster City. Buddy, what's up?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. It's I find it also ironic that everything that we love about Draymond, because that's what makes Draymond, his fire, his passion, his loyalty is to his teammates to a fault. And then the very characteristics that we loved about Jordan Poole when he was playing for us and helping us to a championship, about being aggressive, being happy, being spontaneous. We're all of a sudden the very characteristics that when after the punch heard round the world, we suddenly didn't like those characteristics anymore. Oh, there goes Jordan being Jordan. Oh, there's Jordan being spontaneous. And we somehow become so fickle that when things go a different way, that we need to choose a side. And I didn't even understand why we need to choose sides. The side should have been the Warriors.
Right.
Are we on the Warriors side? Or are we not on the Warriors side? If not on the Warriors side, then I don't know what you're doing. And I think Jordan said he wanted to be on the Warriors side. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, and we're not in the locker room, and I don't need to profess that I am or even know it is, but I think if I was in there, I would know when I was feeling Jordan, I ain't on this team right now. And I don't think I can be, and I don't think it's any coincidence that you're not going to perform at the level that you were before when you felt you were part of the team and you were part of the pool party. Hell, you were hosting the pool party. Mm-hmm. So good luck to Jordan. He deserved to get paid. I'd like to see him, put on that aggressive cap again and get the confidence, because I think that's also what's waned a lot with him is his own personal confidence. And maybe he needs a coach that will be able to instill that again. But I think Steve Kerr certainly said it well about he's respected. And I really hope the fans recognize that. So appreciate the time, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, buddy. Excellent call. Excellent phone call there. A lot I agree with. And what if Jordan Poole's never, ever the same? What if he's just never, ever the same after what happened last training camp? Would you be surprised if he never returns to that championship form? That's a life-changing event for a human being. On that platform, in front of the world, that play, every time Draymond Green does something, that moment in training camp gets rehashed. They've got all these Draymond Green highlights now because of everything that he's doing with Sabonis and Nurkic and, of course, Rudy Gobert. But Jordan Poole's attached to that. I saw somebody joking the other day. They said, man, Draymond Green should host a poker game with Nurkic, Jordan Poole, Gobert, and Sabonis. And it was just like, what? Like, it always gets rehashed. So what if Jordan Poole is never the same? That boy was dynamic during that championship run. We'll see. 888-957-9570. We'll continue to roll on Poole because Anthony Slater just released this piece. We'll read through that during the break about Jordan Poole when he returns to face the Golden State Warriors. Anthony Slater talked to Poole, Curry, Clay, Steve Kerr, Kevon Looney about Poole's tenure with the Golden State Warriors. And there's a quote there, I just hate the way it ended for Jordan. So we'll get to that, but first we're going to get to Ed Wallace. And Ed Wallace is the senior designer for the Curry brand and Under Armour. And he just designed Steph Curry's latest shoe. He's a really good dude. Let's just talk to him for about 7 to 10 minutes about the Curry brand shoe. It'll be a lot of fun with him. He joined us on the set last Saturday night at the Gatehouse for Warriors pregame live. We'll talk to him for about 7 to 10 minutes. Then we'll get right back into Jordan Poole's return to the Golden State Warriors. So stack them up. 888-957-9570. We're going to get to everybody. How are you going to welcome Jordan Poole back to the Bay Area? 888-957-9570. Poole's coming back.